Super Bowl edition.
Yeah, I see the LVI.
I was trying to channel him and growing the beard I've been growing recently.
I was gonna say it's looking pretty thick.
Probably gonna shave today, actually. Not like all the way, but just like trim.
You don't want to ride out the 2 weeks and then shave right before, or do you want to have something on the day?
No. I think it's trim today, let it grow out, and then maybe a few days before the wedding, get the full cut with the, you know what I'm saying? The beard's grown back out, but you trim up parts of it, the whole deal. I also I can't go that long, man. I can't let it grow too long. It bugs me too much. I start playing with it too much. I start grabbing at it. You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't even grow that much because I only let it ride for like a week or less. And it gets caught on the seatbelt or like your shirt, and that thing it bothers me, bro.
I like this
long.
right here. This right here is like max for me. I'm good with this. I'm good with that. Longer than this though, it starts getting stringy and just like I don't feel like I grow like a real good long beard. You know what I'm saying? I grow a nice like just a little short thing. I don't know. But channeling my inner Cooper Cup. So
that's the theme of the day.
Is your dinosaur for a computer? Is it ready? Is it
yeah, we're
going.
Up? I had pressed the button when I got here and we were talking. It didn't record, so I had to repress it. But we're fine. I figured it out. It needs like 30 minutes before it's fine.
Okay.
That's what I noticed when we recorded. It was like once we got to like 30 to 45, it was smooth sailing. But until then, it was any little thing I did not happening.
Okay. All right. Well, now we know. So. Hello and welcome back to the Second and Two podcast. I'm your host, TB. Got my co-host. He truly is a producer extraordinaire because he's working with ancient technology and he's still getting these pods off. He's having to do some crazy stuff over there. Jodye, what's up, Joe?
What up? I will say, I had in order to get the last one out. I sent you the picture of what my screen was.
Yeah.
There was a point in time, not obviously recently, but that lasted for like a month. And I got that one within like 2 days to get it back to normal. But the hardest part is for whatever reason, you know how your computer, when it loads, sometimes it'll say like press escape and you get a different menu.
Mm-hmm.
Even when that pops up, it doesn't bring up the other menu. So I'm just sitting there jamming the button, hoping it takes me. And then after that, it was like you switch where the boot up comes from. So it was whatever that screen was, it was picking something different, and I need to put it on my hard drive. And then now we got it. We're back.
We are back. Well, the Second and Two community owes you a debt of gratitude for your ability to keep this show rolling when no one else can. All right. So, clap it up for Jodye. If you're listening at home, on the road, wherever you're at, give him a nice little pat in the back, a little clap it up.
Oh, I was going to say, you got to write in the comments, tell him he put it out too late. Although it was the computer holding him back, tell him he put it out too late anyways.
I like that you're speaking in the third person about yourself. He put it out too late. You mean you?
Yeah.
You are the guy.
Okay, but you don't understand. When I have you find that funny now. When I put out each episode, I have to type in the third person. Be like,
that is,
this is what
for
they
the
talk about.
the description. It is, yeah. No,
yeah.
I see. Well, you're
not,
playing
I
two
only
roles.
do like a couple sentences. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
you're
I'm writing paragraphs, but
you're
I have
a
to
co-host and a
that.
producer. Co-host and a producer, dude. You do it all. All right, so we're gonna go through some NFL news here. First and foremost, I guess we'll start with the most important. I guess I should say, Brendan Sorsby, quarterback at Texas Tech, and we'll run through the timeline quickly, right? Transfers from Indiana to Cincinnati. Was at Indiana for 2 years, at Cincinnati for 2 years. Then this past spring, transfers from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. He's got one more year of eligibility. He's going to be Texas Tech's quarterback that leads him to the promised land. Of course, I being in the Lubbock area, heard all about Sorsby for the
I was
last
gonna
few
say
months.
what you've heard in the past couple weeks.
Oh, it was big, man. It was big around here. Big deal. Like when he signed, the recruitment to
Yeah.
get him here, the whole thing, right? I'm pretty sure his girlfriend's on the volleyball team at Tech or something like that. So it was a whole thing,
Gotcha.
right? And so they get him, and then probably 2 months after he's been on campus, comes out, this guy got caught gambling. All right. And so at first it's like, oh, he gambled on some college football
Couple
or some
games.
NFL football,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, then it comes out like, well, he actually did gamble on his own team on
Yeah.
Indiana when he was at Indiana, wasn't playing, right? I think he was either hurt or redshirting or whatever, but
I
he was
think he was
gambling on the
redshirt,
team.
regardless.
And he was saying, I was doing it to stay engaged and like invested in the games. Okay. I mean, still kind of crazy, but all right, I guess maybe, whatever. He's coming up with something, right? We'll give him credit
Yeah,
for
sure.
trying. And then it comes out like, no, this dude placed 9,000 bets in 4 years or whatever and spent over 90 grand on these bets and, boom, 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 right?
That's kind of
And
crazy.
so it becomes quickly a slippery slope and turns into he has a full-blown gambling addiction. So then Texas Tech sends him to a month of rehab, gambling addiction rehab, and
I want to know what
turns
that
into
looks like.
I have no idea.
All you got to do is not press some buttons. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but also, it's more than that psychologically, I think. I know what you're saying is like just don't have the apps that you could gamble and you can't, but like
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
I think that's like saying just don't have drugs and you can't do them. It's like, well, you're probably going to find a
that's
way. If you're an
also
addict,
kind
you're
of
going to
true.
find it. You're going to find a way, So if he's truly an addict, which he's saying he is, and we have to take him at face value in this case that he is an addict, there is some obviously there's the speculation that, oh, well, he's just saying that to make it a mental health issue to try and regain his eligibility, whatever. The guy plays 9,000 bets. To me, that reaches the level of addiction, right? So I'll give him
Yeah,
that.
I
I'll
don't even know
say,
if I
yeah, the
placed
guy's
that many bets ever. I haven't even seen
yeah,
that much money, let alone
yeah.
bets.
And we're in that NIL era, and this is maybe an unfortunate consequence of being kind of in that space. So anyway, so then of course, goes back and forth. NCAA, are they going to suspend him? Are they going to take his eligibility? Whatever. Well, turns out yes, NCAA rules him ineligible, but then he goes to court. Kind of goes through a couple different courts. Goes through a federal court with a DFW area judge because the original judge on the case was a Tech grad and recused himself, and the retired DFW area judge rules in favor of Sorsby, grants him his eligibility. This was about a week ago, right? A little over a week ago at this time, and grants him his
About a week
eligibility. We're back.
like this.
So anyway, Sorsby gets his eligibility, right? Wins his case. And, everything you read legally is like, sure, the NCAA can fight this, but by the time it gets back in court for the appeals, the college football season could be over. And so everything you read legally kind of makes it seem like he's just going to get to play this year, right? Texas Tech was going to suspend him for the first 2 games, I believe, was kind of like as
Yeah.
an institution they were doing that, but they were standing behind him beyond that part. And basically he was going to play, right? And so there was huge uproar from the college football and really college community. You had schools like Georgia, other schools and other conferences saying, we're not only going to not play you in football in any future contests, we've instructed all of our other sports from an athletic director level to say you
That's
will
crazy.
not play Texas Tech in anything. And Texas Tech apparently had multiple events like games, matches, whatever, and multiple sports for next year and beyond getting canceled. Because the rest of the NCAA, I guess the rest of the member schools were saying, well, if the NCAA can't do anything, we're going to take it into our own hands, I guess, right? And some people would say it was an overreaction. Some people would say warranted. Sorsby should be able to play. Of course, I'm around all the tech fans here. The tech fans were losing their mind. They couldn't believe this. They're saying, what has Texas Tech done wrong? They didn't do anything wrong. This guy gambled. They stood up for him. They're trying to get their guy to play, but they haven't done anything wrong. They didn't circumvent anything. They just went to a federal court. Sorsby filed in federal court against the NCAA. This judge ruled in favor of Sorsby. What has Tech done wrong? Right?
Yeah.
And so for a few days after that, Texas Tech leadership puts out this statement, and it's the head football coach, the athletic director, the president of the university. There's like 4 or 5 of these people who, Texas Tech leadership and specifically the football program that are saying, we're behind Sorsby. He's playing XYZ, right? Well, then going into Monday this week, the Big 12 gets with their attorney, right, or their lawyer, and they start talking, and they realize, or they get with a law firm, I should say, not the Big 12s, but Big 12 member schools get with a law firm, and they say, you know what? We're going to find a way to legally basically possibly keep Texas Tech out of the Big 12 championship, keep them out of some of the revenue sharing, and basically just make it so that they cannot play Sorsby. Like, we're going to come down hard on them if they play Sorsby. And it becomes clear that this is not going to be an issue that goes away. It becomes clear that this is an issue that's going to become greater for Texas Tech beyond just football. It becomes clear that Sorsby is going to have a heck of a year if he wants to play college football this year. And the more you look at it and the more you think about the situation, I think the more that Sorsby and his family, his agent, his lawyer that he hired, and truthfully also Texas Tech football, I think all parties involved realized this was just going to be, not enough juice for the squeeze, if you will, right? It was going to become,
it's going to be a lot harder to go and fight everything than it would be to just,
and
hey man, it's
it was going to
go.
put a ton of pressure on Sorsby, right? Because if he doesn't play well, you got all the Tech fans and all those people saying, well, we put all this, like, he almost had to be a Heisman winner to live up to the expectations that were now being placed on him for what Texas Tech was willing to do to support him, right? That they were willing to, like, stand out in front of everything. I also think from Sorsby's standpoint, the more you look at it, Texas Tech is not asking for any of his NIL money that he made back. And he's going to go into the supplemental draft, which we'll talk about in a second. He declared for the supplemental draft with that parting of ways with Texas Tech. So it's probably going to make sense for him. It's going to make sense for Texas Tech as a university. Sure, I think there's some fans who are upset because, in truth, Texas Tech, I really like Will Hammond, who will eventually be their starting quarterback. Looked really good in some games he got to play in last year, but he tore his ACL in October. And so for him to be ready for the opener is not super likely. Now they're saying he's going to be cleared by the opener, but he may not be ready to, like, play football at the opener, right? So from Texas Tech standpoint, I think they go from, like, this guy could have been a Heisman Trophy winner to, like, hey, it's a younger guy that we like who may not even play in our first football game or two, right? So that does put a little sting and some damper in their national championship hopes. On Sorsby's side, probably had a chance to win a Heisman, probably had a chance to do everything he wanted to put himself in position to be like a top 10 pick in next year's NFL draft. And now he's not going to have that chance, right? So there is some, tough stuff on both sides of it. But at the end of the day, I think it was the right decision for both the university and for Sorsby. So Sorsby goes into the supplemental draft. And some of you, maybe Jody, are asking yourselves, what the heck is the NFL supplemental draft, right?
The only thing I knew about it was, like, it was basically just a draft for people who could have been, problematic, had something bad happen during their school year. Maybe they got hurt. You know what I mean? And they declared late, basically.
It's specifically for guys who miss the cutoff to declare for the normal NFL draft and they have lost, they're specifically declaring because they have lost their eligibility in college. So like you said, sometimes it's that they got in trouble. Most of the time it's that they specifically got in trouble with the NCAA and no longer have eligibility, right? And so Sorsby clearly qualifies given everything going on. He is going to withdraw his lawsuit against the NCAA, which will make him ineligible again, which will then allow him to easily declare for the NFL supplemental draft. Before we get to explaining specifically what the supplemental draft is and how it works, the thing that I think is real interesting and what I'm curious about is there's two sides of this, right? There's two sides of, in terms of from an NFL and NFLPA labor union standpoint, there's two sides of this, right? Side number one, how is the NFL going to treat a gambling addiction? They haven't had a player in their league admit to being a gambling addict, right? Now they have, as part of the their policies, they have suspensions, right? And there's things that outline what happens in a suspension. If you're suspended from the team, you are not allowed to be around the team, in the facility, anything during that suspension, right? However, if you're someone that has a drug addiction, they actually do allow you to be around the team and use team facilities and have access to like team doctors and things like that, specifically for your health, your mental health, while you serve that suspension. So you're just suspended from playing in the games and practicing, but you're not suspended from being around the team and at the team facilities and using the team structures. So my question is, if there's a suspension, do they treat this like a drug addiction or like something else? I have no idea, right? There's no, that it's unprecedented. So there's that part. The second part is that Sorsby's gambling happened without him being part of the NFLPA. He's not part of the players union, right? So they can't hold him necessarily to the players union standards because he's not in the union, right? So you can't hold him to a standard that he's not a part of. And so, of course, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of negotiation in terms of him getting into the NFL, because the NFL also has to come down hard on the gambling stuff, right? That ask Calvin Ridley, ask Jameson Williams, ask any of these guys who got caught like placing small bets or whatever in the NFL where they lost, Calvin Ridley lost a whole year. Right. So the NFL clearly takes this seriously. And so I do think they're going to try and make sure that everyone understands this is just because it happened in college doesn't mean you get off scot-free here. I think there's going to be some kind of negotiation between, Sorsby and his people and the NFL and the NFLPA, so it's a very complicated issue. Right? And it's very interesting from a legal labor union standpoint of how this is going to play out. If you're NFL teams and you're considering taking him in the supplemental draft, you want to know, is he going to be suspended? For how long? How does that look? How, because if he's suspended, but he's allowed to be in the team facilities, hey, you're probably taking a guy that you may not want to play this year anyway. So fine, whatever, right? You see still in the facilities, you can still coach him, whatever. Is he going to be suspended and not be allowed to be around the team facilities? Well, maybe that makes him less valuable in a supplemental draft, XYZ, right? So there's all those angles. And now we get to the actual supplemental draft and how that functions. Essentially, the supplemental draft is like a silent auction. Every team has the opportunity to place a silent bid on Brendan Sorsby. So the Pittsburgh Steelers can say, hey, you know what? We're going to put in a second round bid. The New York Jets could say, hey, we're going to put in a second round bid. The Arizona Cardinals could say, we're going to put in a second round bid, right? Now, the easy way of understanding this is that whoever puts in the highest bid wins, right? Yeah. So if someone puts in a first round bid, they're going to get him versus everyone else who put in a second round bid or vice versa, right? Now, whoever wins the auction and wins the bid and gets Sorsby, then that corresponding pick that you placed on him is a pick you've now used for 2027. So it's as if you put in a first round bid on Brendan Sorsby in this supplemental draft, it's as if you used your 2027 first round pick on Brendan Sorsby, right? So it's essentially like allocating next year's pick to this guy right now versus in next year's draft. The complicated part comes in where you say, what if multiple teams place the same highest bid on him? So let's just say the highest bid is second round pick. Well, let's say there's 8 teams who put in a second round bid on him. How do we determine who gets him? Well, There's 3 buckets that teams fall under. If you're a team that is from 0 to 7 wins, you're in the first bucket. More than 7 wins with no playoffs, second bucket, and then playoff teams, last bucket. Obviously, it's like a lottery system, right? So the teams in that first bucket of 0 to 7 wins will have the best chance at them. If there's only one of those teams that put a bid in, one of those teams would get them. If it's like 3 or 4, then there's a lottery system that will determine which of those 3 or 4 actually get him, essentially.
What if you're a team that qualifies for the last 2? The 7+ and playoff.
Then you're in the last bucket.
Like a
You're a
Panthers or
playoff.
something. Oh.
Then you'd be in the playoff bucket.
So you wouldn't get just the wins area.
No. So it's 0 to 7 wins, 7+ / no playoffs. So if you were a 12-win team and somehow missed the playoff, you'd still be in the second bucket. Yeah. If you were a 6-win team and you made the playoffs, you're in that last bucket. You're a playoff team. Yeah. So that's how it works. So for the most part, the teams who are that 0 to 7 wins, the likelihood is one of those teams is going to put in a bid and probably get him, right? It's probably going to be one of those. Now, the question is, and all the intel is saying right now is saying someone's going to, the highest bid is going to be a second round bid. That's what everyone's saying, because the talent is there. The ability to extend plays, the hands, eyes, and feet, his running ability, his arm talent. Like, a lot of people like a lot of things on tape, right? I heard Todd McShay talking about him yesterday. He compared him to, he felt like he was very similar to Fernando Mendoza last year, going from Cal to Indiana, right? He's going from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. And the idea was just basically like, guy was good things on tape, saw a lot of stuff, played at a school that you didn't watch as much in college football, going to go to a bigger stage and maybe have a chance to play his way into a top 10 pick, right? Mendoza way surpassed that, of course, with his season, but, not necessarily saying Sorsby was going to be that, but maybe could have had a season like that, was basically what McShay was saying. And generally with quarterbacks, McShay's been a good one to listen to in terms of his evaluations. All right, so he's saying the talent is there. I've watched a little bit of Sorsby, probably not enough, but I'll just say, for the sake of this whole conversation, we'll just say he's a really good talent, right?
Yeah.
So the question becomes, if the talent is there, we know NFL teams are always kind of willing to take risks for talent. But what happens if he gets caught gambling just one more time? Does that mean I was gonna say, does that mean he's like out of the league, right? So if you're a team, do you want to risk a first round pick on a franchise changing position on a guy who could make one mistake and be out of the league? Right? That's the question. Yeah. Like, how much do you trust him? How much do you trust your infrastructure to make sure he doesn't gamble again? Right?
That was going to be the main thing I brought up too when you were done. It's like, the bigger issue isn't whether or not the NFL allows him to play. It's how much is he able to avoid placing a bet while being in the league.
And that on top of, is he going to be a good NFL quarterback? Like, we have no idea. He might be a decent talent. True. There's already the risk of taking a guy in the first round always at quarterback, because you never know. It's 50-50 probably. And then you add in the fact that, hey, he might be a guy who gambles one time in the league and he's done, right? So,
or he's gone for X amount of games already, and then if he does it again, it's like he never had a chance.
Yeah. So if you're a team, how high are you willing to go? Because if this guy turns into a franchise quarterback and he keeps his nose clean, this is a decision that could make your franchise better for 15 years, right? 12 to 15 years could change the franchise. If you're someone like the Browns, who just have not gotten it right. If you're someone like the Cardinals, who have gone years without that guy. If you're someone like the Jets, who have gone
up there.
Years without that guy. If you're someone like the Steelers, who haven't really been in position to take that guy, and you've tried a million different things, right? So the question is, if you are someone like the Jets, do you put in a second round bid and say, we know we're going to be one of the higher second round lottery teams, so we can get him if we put in a second round bid? Or if you're a team like the Steelers, where the likelihood is, if you put in a second round bid, you're not going to get him. But what if you just mess around and put in a first? You might be the only team that puts in a first, and that's how you get your top 10 talent quarterback without actually have to take him in the top 10, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting. It's kind of a cat and mouse game between everyone putting in these bids and figuring out what you're willing to give up for the risk you're going to take on. It's very interesting. The Sorsby conversation is probably one of the more dynamic and fluid situations we've seen. I mean, ever. I don't know that there's anything like this. The closest thing that we've seen that was similar to this was like Tyrell Pryor coming out of Ohio State when he was going to get suspended for the tattoos and all that stuff. And he went
That's
into
who
the
was over there
supplemental
getting
draft.
added for jerseys.
Yeah, that's the last like big name that went through the supplemental draft. And we're talking that's over 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So the last supplemental draft was in 2023. So it's been 3 years since we even had one where there was anyone that was going to be eligible for it. So it's going to be really interesting. I am very curious to see how this goes. Teams do not have a lot of time to gather intel and to make these decisions and to place a value on him. He's going to get taken by somebody. It's just about how high and to who, right? So we'll see.
All right, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but what if you already you traded away your first round pick or whatever second round pick for next year? What happens after that? You can only pace whatever you have.
You can't use a pick that you don't have. Yeah. Right. And if you're a team
would
that
it go
has
to the following year?
no, and if you're a team that has multiple first round picks or second round picks or whatever, then whichever round you're designate, like you have to designate which pick. So like let's say the Jets put in a first round bid on him. Well, they have 3 first round picks, so they have to say either their own, the Colts, or who I forget the third one that they have, but they have 3 of them, right? So they have to designate which one. And so, of course, maybe they would designate the one they think is going to be the worst pick for next year if they were doing a first round. But there's all the strategy involved with that too, right?
Yeah.
So very, very interesting, very interesting. And people are wondering, would the Jets do that just to like put in a first, like see if you find the guy, and then you have 2 first round picks next year to mess around and get someone that's not a quarterback, or if you have him on campus for a whole year and you realize Sorsby's not our guy, you still have 2 first round picks next year to go get the guy. Right. So maybe they're a team that's willing to take the risk because they have all the picks. I don't know. Good question.
I also think they're also a team that doesn't even have a quarterback room. You know what I mean? They've been in shambles for a while.
Well, they don't have a lot of things right now, so they got to fix a lot. I mean, I actually kind of like their draft a little bit, but
according to you from last week.
Yeah. In other news, the LA Rams, we made the big deal about how they traded for Myles Garrett last week, which caught some traction apparently. We got some emails, and
yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Since then, there's been such an uproar about Aaron Donald maybe coming out of retirement. I don't know, Joe. What do you think? Is this likely? Is this going to happen?
I mean, are you talking about week 1 or like comes back for playoffs?
At some point next year, at all.
I would assume so. I mean, if Schefter put out that tweet, that alone tells you there's at least it's very credible from somebody.
It seems like I kind of think he may just skip camp and use the first couple weeks of the season to like ramp up, but I kind of think it might be as early as week 1. Just skip camp. I don't know.
Yeah. That would make sense.
I was talking to somebody about this and I was like, hey, just bring him in. He doesn't even have to play every down. He could be the third down guy. And then it was like, hey, do you realize who you're talking about? It's freaking Aaron Donald. That dude is a competitor. He's going to want to do everything. So like, that's why I was like, maybe he'll come week 1. He'll just skip training camp and come in week 1 and just kind of play himself into shape and play himself into the role. So by the time they get to the playoffs, he is fresh, but he's been playing and he's, I don't know. I think it's likely though. It feels like it's likely.
Yeah, I would say so.
They're talking, and he's not saying no. He's not this is the first time since he retired that he's not saying no.
Yeah. I've also seen like randomly through Twitter where like I guess his wife is also putting up stuff that's like showing that it's very likely. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's gonna happen more often than not.
I saw some people adding her saying, can you let Aaron come out to play? Like, can Aaron it's like, oh my gosh.
Let him come
Rams
back.
fans. Oh, it's funny, man. And last thing in the news, Seahawks Super Bowl ring. Did you get to see it, Joe?
I saw that it like opens up on the sides or something, and apparently they put like grass or something in there. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's like if you open up the top, it like becomes their stadium. Is like
Oh,
the
that's pretty
inside.
sick.
It's like
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
it's pretty sweet. They got the 2 Super Bowl rings on the front side of it because it's their second Super Bowl win. Like honestly, pretty nice looking ring, and that's coming from a Rams fan. It looks nice. They did a good job with it. Congrats to the Seahawks one last time. That's the last time you'll hear me say it, but congrats to them. They earned it. And the only other thing that was kind of weird, all their dudes came back except for Kenneth Walker. He didn't come back for the Super Bowl celebration, for the ring ceremony.
Yeah, that makes sense. They shipped him out of there.
Well, they didn't. They just didn't want to sign him to the $14 million he got from the Chiefs when he's a running back on the kind of going towards the backside of his prime.
I mean, my guy was the MVP. There's no way to put it.
Super Bowl MVP, but I think the Seahawks were subscribing to like, yeah, we just don't want to pay a back no matter who they are.
I mean,
$14 million.
besides that, though, even the whole year, they were dogging him and letting Charbonnet run until that fool got hurt.
There was a little bit of back and forth, and then Charbonnet got hurt, and K9 carried him through the playoffs. I do agree with you there. All right. So we're getting out of news, and we're getting into this week's gimmick, if you will. Here's what we've got. We have the NFL teams draft, the 2nd and 2 teams draft. All right. So you're asking yourself, what the heck does that mean? We're going to explain. All right. Jody, we're going to take turns drafting teams back and forth. In order to decide who goes first, how are we doing that?
Oh, I got this coin right here. From what state? Don't know. Doesn't have one.
Okay.
It says crossing the Delaware. Never mind. We found it. Delaware.
Washington. All right.
Yep.
Crossing the Delaware.
We got.
And
If
that
you want to take a
by
look,
Washington, I mean George.
Hells. I don't know if that's visible, but you can see the standard head right there.
Yeah. So I'm just trusting
Very
you.
normal. Very normal.
I'm just trusting you on the flip here. All right. So
You
Jody's
wanna
gonna flip. I'm gonna call it right now to determine who gets to go first, and then we'll just go back and forth from there. All right, Jody, go ahead. Tails. Never
lost it. We
fails.
go again.
Oh my
This
gosh!
one is
All right, here we go.
Bessie Coleman. Looks like North Carolina because there's a biplane. I don't know.
Okay. Tails never fails.
Look at you.
Yeah, I get to pick first. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to draft teams. And essentially, the way that you win is by getting the most points at the end of the NFL season. We're going to keep track through the NFL season. Here is the criteria for getting points from teams you drafted. If a team you draft has a winning record, you get 1 point. That means your team, that any of the teams you draft, you're rooting for them to be 8-1 or better. So basically 500 or better. All right. If a team you drafted is a playoff qualifier, you get 3 points. If a team you drafted is division winner, you get 2 more points. Now, points in this case stack up. So if your team is a winning record, they won their division, that means they also qualified for the playoffs. That team would get you 6 points, right? 1 for the winning record, 3 for the playoffs, 2 for the division. So the points stack, right? If your team is the 1 seed, 4 points. So now a 1 seed from either NFC or AFC is going to get you 10 points right off the bat. They don't even have to do anything in the playoffs. They just have to get the 1 seed. That's 10 points right there. Now, from there, each playoff win by a team you draft is 5 points, making the NFC or AFC championship game by a team you drafted. That's 2 more points. Super Bowl championship by the team you drafted. That's 3 points. So, for instance, to help people visualize, right, how many points could one team get you? If you drafted, say, the NFC's 1 seed and they won out through the Super Bowl, you would get 30 points. 1 for the winning record, 3 for the playoff qualifier, 2 for the division, 4 for the divisional round win, 5 for the NFC championship win plus another playoff win, 2 for winning the NFC championship plus another playoff win, 5 for winning the Super Bowl, or 5 for winning 3 for winning the Super Bowl plus another playoff win, another 5, right? So you stack all that. So 30 points total, basically. Is that making sense, Joe?
Yeah, I got lost, but I do know we have talked about this and it definitely made sense.
Yes. All right. So hopefully people understand. Like winning the Super Bowl, basically, you get a playoff win of 5 points plus 3 more for winning the Super Bowl. So it's 8 points really for winning the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Winning an NFC or AFC championship gets you 7. Winning just like a divisional round or a wild card game gets you 5, right?
And if you
And
have
so on
that
and so
team,
forth.
another one is what you were saying.
Yeah. All right. So basically, you're thinking, A, can I draft teams that are going to have winning records? Obviously, you want a team that could win the Super Bowl. Obviously, you want a
Divisional
team that could
winner.
win their division, maybe be the 1 seed, right? If you can think about like, obviously the most valuable team you could draft will be a team that you think will be the 1 seed and be able to win the Super Bowl, of course. So the starting point of this strategically is probably drafting teams you think most likely to not just win the Super Bowl, but be dominant and get that 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, it might be like maybe not necessarily a team that would win the Super Bowl, but a team that's going to get you points by winning their division. And then maybe you're taking long shots on some teams you think could be a wild card team that could then go win the Super Bowl or whatever, right? But of course, it's a little bit different than just ranking teams 1 through 32 because there's some more strategy involved. And we figure this might be a little bit more entertaining than just saying let's just rank teams power ranking 1 through 32,
Yeah.
right?
And
We're gonna do
it's
something a little more
continuous. You know what I
fun.
mean?
And
It'll
yes,
come back around.
we're drafting these teams on June 17th. We're not going to know final standings until next February when the Super Bowl is over. All right. So this is for true bragging rights between me and Jody. Maybe we'll eventually put something on this. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. But for right now, bragging rights. And so I get the first pick.
Yeah.
In the 2026 2nd and 2 NFL teams draft. And with the first pick, the TBs select
Yeah. I
the
figured
Los
that was
Angeles Rams, baby, the Los Angeles Rams. And that is because I think of all the teams in the NFL right now, A, they're the Super Bowl favorite. B, they're the NFC favorite. If you wanted to go by betting odds, this team is a team currently, and we're referencing ESPN here, is a team that's plus 600 to win the Super Bowl, plus 330 to win the NFC, plus 110 to win their division, and they're minus 440 for the playoffs. So a team that you could likely see winning not only the Super Bowl, but having the 1 seed and winning the NFC, hoping for that 30-point team right there. I'm taking the Rams. Jody, are you, by the way, going to keep track of this like on a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Before I give you my answer, because it might change my answer. Is this a snake draft or are we just going back and forth?
Just back and forth, brother.
Okay. I don't know if I want to give that answer anymore, but I kind of want to just do it because I already wrote it down and then I took it away.
Okay, so I want to hear your scenario. Actually, no, because you might get. Nah, who cares? You're not going to give anything away to me. What are you thinking? What would change this pick based on whether or not you get 2 picks or just a 1?
Because I would be more willing to have split 1 and 1 in each division than just stuck on one side.
You know what? Make it a snake. Go ahead. I'll give you 2 right here.
That's cool with
I guess
me.
then from now on, you get 2 here, and then I'll get 2, and you get 2, and I get 2, and then it'll finish with you getting the last pick, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Take 2.
All right, I got the Bills
Or maybe me.
and the Bears.
Wow. Okay, I'll give you odds really quick, and we'll do this as we go. The Bills 10-1 to win the Super Bowl, plus 510 to win the conference, minus 125 on the division. That's pretty good divisional odds. Minus 320 for the playoffs. The Bears, I got to scroll. 25-1. 25-1 for the Super Bowl. I think they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
Sounds like good odds to me.
They are dead middle in the NFL, 16th in the NFL in Super Bowl odds right now.
Dang.
I'm not, which is,
I might
by
just
the way,
have to take that for fun.
I am not criticizing the pick. I'm a little shocked because I wasn't expecting it. And also, I'm just telling you what's out there, right? They're plus 1275 to win the conference. They have like worse odds to win the conference than like maybe a couple teams below them even, which is interesting. Plus 235 for their own division, plus 102 for the playoffs. So they're not even minus odds for the playoffs.
That's
So
kind of crazy. Sounds like good odds for the playoffs at least.
you like Caleb Williams. Iceman. All right. All
Hey,
right.
you
So
know
now
what?
I get
You know what? For fun, and I can't even technically do this because of work. But if they win the Super Bowl, I'll take off 2 weeks of work and I'll hit them with one of these.
okay. All right. So he took the Bills and the Bears. All right. Now the Bears, to be fair, I had the Bears. I had them at 9th on my list.
I
So
was
I
gonna
didn't
say
have them as
at least top 10, and then
yeah, I had them 9th on my list. 16th in Super Bowl odds, but they were 9th on my list in my little big board here.
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take what I think is the most obvious, and I think the very good best chance to be the 1 seed in the AFC, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. I love Jesse Minter. I love Lamar Jackson. I think that's going to be
wrong keyboard.
a fantastic marriage. I think I potentially have the AFC and NFC's 1 seeds right here. Which is not to discount the Bills or, some of the other teams in the AFC. I just think for me, projection wise, these were the 2 teams I projected to be the 1 seed, the Rams and the Ravens. So I like where I'm at. Okay. My second pick here. So I guess it's my first pick of the first pick of the 3rd round coming back
Yeah.
around here. I think I want to take someone who I'm projecting to win their division. And I also think I want to go to the side of in terms of NFC, AFC, that I think is a little bit more open. So I am going to take a somewhat overzealous pick here, but I think they're going to win the division. I like the no OC. I think he has a chance to maximize the guy that we talked about could help his legacy the most. I'm going to take the LA Chargers because I like McDaniel with Herbert, and I think they're going to win that division. I also love Harbaugh.
Wow, you're high on them, huh?
I am. I think the AFC three obvious division winners to me are the Ravens, Bills, and Chargers. So, and I think one of those 3 will probably win the AFC.
Interesting. Alrighty. I should probably cross these off of my list so I know who's been taken, because this might hurt me down the road. But for the time being, I have my top 10 and I'm okay. Let's see. Where do we want to spread the wealth to next? I think the safe bet at the 3rd round might just be Philly. I'm gonna be honest. We'll take Philly. Yeah, very consistent. I mean, you do say they got a new OC, so that might hurt me, but who knows? Makai Lemon carry them.
To give you, I forgot to give odds here more recently.
yeah.
The Ravens 10-1 for the Super Bowl, plus 500 for the conference, minus 115 for their division, minus 370 for playoffs. The Eagles, who you just took, 16-1 for the Super Bowl, plus 770 for the conference, plus 110 for the division, and minus 210 for the playoffs. And then the Chargers, a little bit lower than the Eagles, 17-1 in the Super Bowl, plus 830 for the conference, plus 190 for the division, minus 166 for the playoffs. So, all right, you've got
highlight button.
one more pick here, the first pick of the 4th round.
We'll change the font on them so I know. There we go. Differentiate. Let's see. We got 6. Where's the Chargers on my list? I had them at 13. Wow. Just for fun.
Okay. See, I had them as 4, so I got 3 out of my top 4.
Oh, my top 5 are gone. You know what?
One more.
I might go further into my list. I think I kind of no, I don't want to. I don't want to.
He said, "Oh no, I already took that shot on the Bears. I can't take another one this early."
No. They were my third team. I'm okay. I'm happy with that pick.
Okay.
What do we got? 1 and 2. We go 1 and 3. Nah, what? Nah, I'm not even asked the question. You know what? We talked about this guy last week. I'm gonna just take the Texans.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Jody is just taking some. The Texans are the lowest team on my list that's been picked so far. I had the Texans at 17,
I
which
have him
I
at
might be
9.
I might be too low on. I'm gonna be honest. I might be too low. Totally fair.
We'll see if my
All
pick
right.
is still there when I come back, and if not, that'll be okay.
So I'm gonna go with another team, and man, I'm struggling right here
It's
because
tough because like it seems obvious, but then you get to the point of picking, you're like,
I so I
do I
have
want people to compete in the division, or do I
yeah. Well,
spread the wealth and then we compete later?
that's the thing. That's the thing is like I have one NFC team, two AFC teams right now. So I know I want to pick an NFC team here with this pick. And then I think I have an AFC team in mind to come back to.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to pick who I think could be a clear-cut division winner or
Yeah, see,
you know
it
what?
gets tough.
Here's the deal, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's disrespectful. The Super Bowl champion hasn't been picked yet, and even though I
Oh,
think the Rams are gonna win that division, I do think Seattle has the potential to be in the NFC Championship with them again, even if they don't win the division. So even though I'm not getting those points, here's the other flip side of that: is let's say it could go either way. The Seahawks could win that
yeah.
division again. The Rams could be the wild card team, and they could meet in the NFC Championship. So if I think they're the two best teams in the NFC, even though they're in the same division, I think I just need to pick them. So I'm going to take the Seahawks right now because, again, as I said, it feels a little disrespectful they haven't been taken. I mean, they're third in Super Bowl odds for one. They are 11-1. They're plus 570 for the conference, plus 196 for the division. They're minus 225 for the playoffs. I now have the three top teams in terms of Super Bowl odds on my squad right now, so I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Now here's where it gets. I could stick NFC and pick the other team I was thinking, or I could kind of use a similar logic to pick an AFC team.
Do you, bro? I'm assuming my AFC team is gonna be there, but I'm not taking them on my next pick. I can tell you that right now. It'll be the next pick if they're there.
I just have too much belief in the infrastructure of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to not do it, so I'm taking KC.
And that's exactly who I was talking about. Because I didn't think
Yep,
you would go with the competition of the Chargers and the
and the
and the
Rams.
Chiefs.
You know what? My thought is the two toughest divisions in football right now. I've got the team that's going to win both of those divisions. Like I think the Chargers or Chiefs win the one, and the Rams or the Seahawks win the other. I know you can make
Yeah,
cases for the Niners and the Broncos in both those divisions, but
yeah,
right now I feel pretty good about having the division winner in both those divisions because I picked the top two teams in each division, and I also feel
yeah.
pretty good that whoever doesn't win the division is still going to be in the playoffs and make some noise. So I feel like I don't know. This strategy may come back to bite me, but the Chiefs, by the way, are fifth in Super Bowl odds, 15-1 or 15-1. They're plus 740 for the conference, plus 160 for the division, minus 210 for the playoffs. So I've now got four of the top five teams in terms of Super Bowl odds. I feel
Hmm.
pretty good about that, even though four of those teams are all from one
Oh,
division.
that hasn't been taken. I'm trying to think of what we haven't touched in terms of divisions right now. That might be the next strategy for this next pick. And you know who hasn't? And I'm not gonna do it because that's not smart.
There's
The
there's one
NFC
division.
South.
Yeah, there's one division we haven't
Not touching
touched.
it. We're
Yeah.
not touching it.
You just don't feel good about who's going to win it. So it's like it's so hard to take anyone out of
especially
it.
this early. Yeah, I mean, we still got like
it's too big of a gamble this early. Like I had the best team from the NFC South for me right now is ranked 20th on my list.
20, 19 over here.
Yeah, see, so we're both on the same page of like it's a sub half of the NFL team. It's just too early to take that. I agree.
Yeah. You know, who's in the Colts division?
Texans, Jaguars, and Titans. Feeling good about Anthony Richardson, huh?
No.
Daniel
20
Jones?
over here. 20 over here. Somebody else. I don't know where to go here. Just for the sake of me wasting too much time, I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I was gonna do that for the next pick, but we'll take the Patriots.
Okay.
And I could still figure out if I want to go AFC again or NFC.
You currently have 3 AFC teams and 2 NFC teams. And while you're looking at that, I'll give you the odds. Patriots have the 2, 4, 6, 7th best odds, 16-1 to win the Super Bowl, just behind the Eagles, plus 770 for the conference, plus 125 for their division, minus 215 for the playoffs. It's interesting. They have longer odds to win their division than the Eagles, but slightly better odds to make the playoffs than the Eagles do, which is that's kind of a weird conundrum there. But man, Philly and New England are almost identical through the whole thing. Very, very similar profiles, both 10.5 over under.
All right. I think I'm going to spread the wealth. I'm going kind of low in my list, but I might be, my strategy might just be take 2 dudes from each division and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got double the odds of getting something correct.
I've done some of that, so I can't complain or call you out there.
I don't want to go this far in the list. And I've also been talking about them a lot recently for no good reason because I'm not a fan of these people, but I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Ooh, okay. That's funny, dude. I had the Eagles, Patriots, Texans, and Cowboys all ranked like together on my list.
Really?
Yes, they're all like 14 through 18 or whatever for me, or 15 through 18. Like they're all together.
Is that because you're just assuming you don't know who's going to win the division? So you're like, what's the point of taking them?
A little bit of that, a little bit of like, for 3 of those 4, I have questions about the quarterback, and for the Patriots, I have questions about their ability to protect the quarterback. So that's what it comes down to. And it's not that none of those quarterbacks are any good. It's not that Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, or CJ Stroud haven't had good moments. It's just that in recent history, in some big time games, maybe not been as great. So it's just kind of like, maybe I don't, I think that's more or less. Cowboys, I'll give you their odds. They are just above the Bears, by the way. Just above the Bears.
I'm 25 to 1 over here.
25 to 1 for the Super Bowl, which again, that's 15th. Plus 1275 for the conference. Plus 235 for the division. Plus 102 for the playoffs. So, let's see. Okay. Dude, I might just double up on one division again here with both picks.
Honestly,
I might just take
it's honestly probably
2 teams.
Just a good strategy at this point.
2 teams from one division.
Odds of whoever's winning.
I've got them ranked right next to each other, and so I'll go back and forth. So I'm going to take the Packers first here.
Okay.
And I have them projected as winning the NFC North. But I do think it's close.
You have them on your list?
7th.
Oh, same. Wow.
Yeah, I had them 7th. In terms of Super Bowl odds, they are Ninth, they're 17-1, plus 870, plus 210 for the division, minus 156 on the playoffs. Now, the worry with the Packers, is health, of course, right? Is a team off, especially on offense, that just hasn't stayed healthy. Myles Garrett isn't going to start the year, right? He's going to start the year on the pup.
Micah Parsons?
Yes. What did I say? Myles Garrett? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. Myles Garrett's been on the tip of the tongue a lot lately. Micah Parsons. So that kind of impacts a little bit, but as long as he's healthy for the stretch run, I think you'll feel good about that. I like Jordan Love. I like Matt LaFleur. The other thing that's kind of a question mark right now is Josh Jacobs. I mean, that whole thing seems like a mess, so we'll see. I am worried about that in terms of the Packers ceiling, so we'll see. But the other team that I don't think is getting enough love, that I do think may very well win this division, even though they missed the playoffs last year, is the Lions. And that's the other team I'm going to take here and double up with that division. The Lions currently, and this is evidence of what I'm saying, they are currently 13th in Super Bowl odds. They're 19-1, plus 950 for the conference, plus 186 for their division, minus 190 for the playoffs. They got an over-under of 10.5. They're minus 190 for the playoffs. So I do think this is a team, like, to me, the Rams and Seahawks, the Packers and Lions, the Chargers and Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, any of those teams could win the division, and the other team is so likely to also be in the playoffs that I even though I'm doubling up a lot, I kind of feel like you said, it could be the right strategy in the long run. You're doing a little bit of a similar thing with the Eagles and the Cowboys there. The Bills and the Patriots, similar deal.
Yeah.
So seems like you maybe were upset because you wanted to do that with the Lions and the Bears, maybe.
I wanted the Lions for sure. I did want that.
I heard it. I heard it in your voice. You were angry when I took the Lions.
Oh, I maybe you didn't hear it then, but I went right when you did it.
Yeah. I heard it.
Ooh, okay. Where do we go next? I think it's time.
Ooh.
We're gonna go two AFCs here. That might hurt me in the long run, but that's okay.
Okay, can I guess the two you're gonna take?
Go ahead.
First one's gonna be the Broncos.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one, I'm not there's two teams I'm thinking.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna guess it's Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
This guy knows me too well, bro.
I knew it, dude. I knew it.
I
knew that's where you were going.
I think I was gonna take the Bengals first, just because it was a little bit more safe. I've been harping on Bo Nix and his ankle. You know what I mean? But I was definitely set on both of those teams. I need someone
both of them
from your division too, so it's like
I had those two written down as my last two AFC playoff teams. So I like that pick. I like both of them. In terms of odds, the Broncos are right behind the Lions at 14th. Actually, the Bengals are at 15th. So they're 14-15 in succession right there. And they're both 20
numbers.
Both 20-1 in the Super Bowl. Both plus 1025 for the conference. Broncos plus 225 for the division. Bengals plus 200. Broncos minus 140 on the playoffs. Bengals minus 175. So they're both minus odds to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where the odds flip.
Joe Burrow.
Oh, actually, they're 13-14. Detroit was 12. So Cowboys were 15th is what I had, right? Yeah. So that's how that works. So the odds through 14 are all minus odds to make the playoffs. The Cowboys are the first plus odds playoff team at plus 102 at 15. So there you go.
Need healthy quarterback over there too.
Okay. Now,
it's tough. Now we got to get later in these teams, and it's like I'm gonna
take one of my last projected divisional winners, and this is from the AFC South. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
The Jags.
That was they won the AFC South last year.
The next two for sure.
And I think they're going to win it again this year. They are below the Cowboys and the Bears in Super Bowl odds. They are 30-1, plus 1450 for the conference, plus 240 for their division. The Texans are the divisional favorites there, in case you were wondering. And plus 105 for the playoffs.
Not bad. Still solid.
Now, I have 3 teams. They're all in the NFC. I could.
I thought you were saying a different line of words coming up next.
I have 3 teams I could take here, all in the NFC.
Okay.
I could take my last projected wild card team. I could take my last projected division winner, or I could take a team that I really do think has like super high boom, low, high ceiling, low floor, like boom bust potential this year, and bank on like maybe they boom. I think I'm gonna go with the division winner part, just because now we're at the
here anyways.
that we're now at the point in the draft, I think, where it makes sense if you think a team could win the division, that it's valuable enough that you want those points. So I am going to take the Bucks here to win the NFC South. I do think they're the best NFC South team, but I do think it's really close, and you can make a case for any of them. So I'm going with the Bucks here. In terms of Super Bowl odds, the Bucks are 50-1, just below the Jags. They're 21-1 for the conference, plus 160 for their division. They do have the best odds in the division, plus 110 for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. They are typically the front runners to their division. Of course, they didn't make it last year off of that Falcons game, but they were right there. Tough division to pick for sure.
I may regret not picking my last NFC wildcard team. I may regret and going with the division winner here, but we'll see.
My next pick. See, okay, this is where I thought you were going with your sentence with. I have 3 teams in the NFC. I thought you were going to say I'm going to have 3 teams in the NFC West. I was like, you're crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm taking the
You're going
Niners.
with Niners. Yeah.
Niners.
I figured you would get me there.
They're the last team in the first 17 that was available on my list, and I said I just got to do it. It's about time. I don't have anyone in the division anyways. I got to join you.
I had the Niners right next to the Bears on my list. So what I have the Bears, I think 10. I have the Niners 9. I mean, I like I said, I may really regret if the Bucks don't win that division. I may really regret not taking the Niners. So we'll see. I'll give you their odds. They're in front of Houston and just behind Green Bay in Super Bowl odds. 18-1, plus 950 for the conference, plus 285 for the division, minus 160 for the playoffs. So I am curious to see where you go here, because this becomes very interesting.
I think the easiest spot, I'm just gonna join you in the NFC South.
Okay, and who makes sense. It's a good strategy.
And I kind of want to switch teams, but I don't trust their quarterback. I'm gonna take the Saints here.
Okay.
We're taking Shuck.
Okay.
Went out hot last year. Got him a couple more weapons. I think it could be very valuable in this draft. But we're truly at the point where it's like you just think if they're gonna be decent, you just take them. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a strategy.
I have 18 below now.
I have a strategy here. Do I just say, screw you, and make it so that you just can only root for the Saints in the NFC South? And if anyone else wins it, I get those points.
That's not a bad strategy.
And just mess around and take the Panthers and Falcons here.
You though on the AFC, and that
you could. That's what I'm saying. Do I just do that here? And just kind of guarantee as close to guaranteeing myself those NFC South winner points as possible.
That's not a bad
strategy. Or I still have, like I said, that really high boomer bust team that I'm like, think I got it. If there's someone who I think has a ceiling where they could win a couple playoff games, I think you have to take that more than division winner points. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Falcons or the I'm going to do 1-1. I'm going to take the Vikings here.
Oh,
take the
you
Vikings.
sneaky dog. That's where I was going next.
Okay, well, I'm glad I did it because I think that's the team that I think going into this NFL season has the highest boom or bust potential. I think if they just get Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy playing really well at the quarterback position, that's a team that
JJ.
they could win that division. As good as it is, they could still win that division. They are 50-1 Super Bowl, 23-1 conference, plus 500 for the division, plus 150 for the playoffs. So, and then I do think I'm just going to go ahead and take the team that I think is next most likely to win the NFC South, and I'm going to take the Falcons.
See, look, I have them dead last on my list, but I almost just said, screw it. Screw the Saints. I'm taking the Falcons just because I was like, I'm just worried about their left-handed quarterbacks. That's what it came down to.
It is hilarious. The Saints, Panthers, and Falcons are all just grouped together. They're just grouped together on the. It's like the Super Bowl odds makers were just like whatever. The rest of the NFC South here, they're all together. Yeah.
Funny.
The Falcons though are 120-1, 55-1, plus 450 on the division, plus 310.
They're probably like plus 500 on them. That's funny.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, let me look at your teams real quick. This might be the point where. Oh no, wait.
You strategize here and try.
I might. I'm just trying to figure out who's the fourth team in this division. Unless I'm staring at them.
Which division?
Nah, that's too much strategy.
Just out of curiosity, which division are you talking about?
If you look at mine, you could divvy down who you think I'm thinking of. Oh, that's the last team. That's a fun one. You know what? We talked about this guy last week. He could build a legacy. Maybe he's got some juice with the new coach, who's his old man. We're gonna go Aaron Rodgers here. Give me the Steelers.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I didn't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it just because it seems
In
like
terms of odds, they were the best team left. Super Bowl odds wise, they were the best team left. 50-1. Now, to win the conference, they are plus 2,150. Which sounds worse than it is because like everyone else is like 28-1, 31-1, right? Those are actually worse odds than it's because it's just two. It's basically 21.5-1 essentially what it amounts to, but it just sounded funnier when you say plus 2,150, plus 500 for their division, plus 144 for the playoffs.
See now, do I? You know what? I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. Give me a dude we also talked about, I think last week, where we had a little hypothetical and we're like, who do you think is gonna be better in terms of total yards? And I'm taking my guy Jaden Daniels. Give me the Commanders, bro.
I like it. I like it a lot. That was a team I was looking at. Dang. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm going to take two teams here that were on our 4+ wins improvement train. Both of them. I think both of them could be kind of fun. Both of them could upset some folks this year. Both of them have second-year quarterbacks. Both of them have new head coaches.
Okay, I know one.
Fun teams that I like and head coaches that I respect. I'm going to go with the Giants and the Titans.
Okay, see, that I thought about because that now that you said the Giants, I could go with. I was thinking of taking that whole division and Xing you out.
I figured that's what you were thinking. My thought was I was hoping once you took the Steelers, I was like, okay, I knew I was going Titans and then Giants or Commanders, whichever one you didn't take. Yeah. If you had taken neither, I might have taken both Giants and Commanders and gotten myself double in that division. But yeah. So odds wise, the Giants 70 to 1. The Commanders are 65 to 1. 28 or 31 to 1 in the conference. Giants are 36 to 1 in the conference. Plus 500 for the Commanders, plus 600 for the Giants. You made ultimately the right choice, apparently, by the odds with the Commanders. For me, the Titans,
And they were
120 to
higher on my
1.
list.
120 to 1 for the Super Bowl, 60 to 1 for the conference, plus 750 for the division, plus 340 on the playoffs. It's a long shot, but I like Cam Ward, and I do like Robert Saleh. So, I said they're going to be 4 wins better. That might be an 8-1 football team. I get a point maybe just for having the winning record, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't make the
that's true.
playoffs, but they get the winning record. I mean, that'd be awesome.
All right.
All
Now
right.
we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
It is tough right here.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Do you want me to list out these teams real quick? Because it's not a pretty list. I'll tell you.
I was going to say we can read them off for the people at home. Teams that have not been taken. Actually, neither one of us wants to read our list here because then you're kind of we know you're reading it in order. So you give it
out of order. I mean, actually.
Okay.
That doesn't.
You know what? I'm going to read them out of order for you. You ready for this?
No, I got you. Okay,
go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you why I'll redo it. So I also asked ChatGPT what they thought. And so I have a whole list of AI answers. Which we can run through at the end.
This guy was using AI to help him.
I wrote my list and I said,
okay.
You write a list like this. And they said, you got it. They made fun of my list, actually. They said, you're dumb. You got these people too high. And these ones are too low.
Was cooking you.
Yeah. All right. So we got.
Did you give it the parameters of our draft?
I said no. I just said, who do you think wins?
Would have been interesting to see if you given it our parameters, how it might have strategized you draft.
Yeah, that's true. I just said, who do you think is win the Super Bowl in terms of best to worst? And they gave me a list.
Okay. So there's 7 teams left.
Based off their first couple teams, I was like, is this from what happened last year? And they were like, yes. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. All right.
There are 7 teams left, Jody, and let's read off the lucky 7 here.
So we got the Raiders. We got the Browns.
Yep.
We have the Cardinals.
The best of the best.
We have the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, good team.
The Dolphins.
For sure.
Where is this team? Oh, the Jets. I don't know if I said them. Yeah, there they are.
Jets, Jets.
Everyone?
The Colts.
The Colts, yeah. And you thought I was taking them earlier.
I did. I thought you were taking them. You asked about them. Anthony Richardson.
I just need to know who was in their division because I was like, I got what teams in there,
this is disrespectful to the Panthers, man. They were a playoff team last year. What's going on?
You're not wrong. Are you saying I should take them?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you should. I mean, you got 2 picks here, but you should. But I'm not saying you will, but you should.
I think. You know what? We're going to go best in terms of my list here. We are going to take the Panthers, and we are going to take the Colts. Why not?
Those are the 2 best teams left on my list. So kind of hoping one of them might be there because those are the last 2 teams left that I thought maybe they have an outside chance of winning their division. So it kind of sucks.
Hey, but now we're really getting to the fun parts because it's like we don't think anything's happening with these people.
No, yeah. The Panthers are 80 to 1, 37 to 1 for the conference, plus 310 for the division. By far the best divisional odds left on the board, for sure. By far the best. The Colts, 65 to 1, 28 to 1 on the conference, plus 380 on the division, plus 170 for the playoffs.
Yeah, QB's uncertainty, that doesn't help nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so we now are, in terms of Super Bowl odds, by the way, we are at the bottom 5. So we agree with the odds makers, like this is the bottom 5 by every metric known to man right now. Okay. It's almost like which team do I think can get closest to a winning record? Right?
Yeah, that's why I almost wanted a different team, but I'm sure you'll take them right here.
All things considered, I like the play caller. I like the young quarterback. I like the mentor quarterback. They
I
got a
think I know
premier
who it is.
defensive player that they tried to trade that they didn't trade. They're in
Oh, not who
Vegas.
I thought it was. Not who I
I'm gonna
thought it
take the
was.
Raiders. The Raiders, baby. Give him to me. Okay. I get one more pick here. Poof. 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 I guess the Dolphins.
You should just take over New York, bro.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna just take the Dolphins. I think they're the best of these
Dolphins.
really, really bad
That,
teams.
that was the highest left on my list. I'll tell you that. See now
Yeah.
this
Now
this
you
is
get
gonna
the
be fun.
honor. Really, you know what this is? You get the honor of deciding who will go to me as the last pick. That's really what
Yeah.
this is. Who do you
And you know
not
what?
want on your team?
You know what? I think I let you have 3 in the NFC West.
You're gonna let me have the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
see
right.
now
Fair
where I
enough.
thought you were going with the young quarterback, you like the play caller. I thought you were going here, bro. Thought you were
Oh
taking
no.
Shador and the Browns.
No. If they still had Miles Garrett, that would have fit. But they traded Miles Garrett, and I love Jared Verse, but he ain't ready to be Miles Garrett. The Browns are they're in rebuild mode, dude. They're gonna win like 4 games this year, maybe.
Wait, who'd you take? The Raiders and who? I didn't write it
The
down.
Dolphins. So
Dolphins.
you took
I
the
X'd them out of
Browns
my
and
list.
the You took the Browns and the Jets, and you left me with the Cardinals. You know what? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna plug this sucker into ChatGPT and ask it
And
who's
see
more
what they
likely to
think.
win.
Oh,
With
are
our
you gonna put it
parameters.
without him?
No, I'm gonna put our
With
parameters in.
all right, here. While
Tell
you
it.
run that, I'll let you know what they picked in order from first to 32. All right. So first on their list, they had Philly. Second is the Chiefs. Third is Baltimore. Fourth was Buffalo. They had the Rams, the Lions, the Texans, the Packers, and the Bengals as their top 10. Next group of 10, we have the Chargers, the Bears, the Broncos, Commanders. Let's see, the Niners, Seattle. Where's 20? So I know where. Seattle, the Patriots, the Bucks, the Vikings, and then the Jags. That's their 11 through 20. Closing out the last 12 right here, we have the Dallas, Miami, Pittsburgh, the Colts, the Cardinals, Panthers, the Saints, the Jets, Raiders, Browns, Titans, Falcons, Giants. And that was their list of teams that they wanted from best to worst for the Super Bowl.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna plug it in. I gotta copy and paste. It didn't. Dang it.
What they say?
It doesn't copy. It won't copy and paste highlight. So, like I said, the ones highlighted in blue are mine, green are his,
Oh,
and it won't. It just pasted the list without the highlights. So I gotta like individually. Here, give me a second.
yeah.
Give me.
I'll just cut the part.
Give me. Yeah,
You can
yeah,
waste time.
yeah.
You should ask it too about the 32 teams with the parameters. See if that what changes.
Like, give it to rank it.
Yeah, I'll share this thing with you so you can just type it in right next to the other ones. All right, where's share?
All right. Here's what ChatGPT says. Now that I see both sides, I'd give you, TB, a fairly meaningful edge. A team-by-team comparison. Your elite tier. Ravens, Rams, Chiefs, Packers, Chargers. His elite tier. Bills, Eagles, Bengals, 49ers, Commanders. The difference is that you own both possible projected 1 seats, which is a massive in the scoring format. Why the scoring favors you? A normal fantasy style draft rewards depth. Your game rewards first-round buys, playoff wins, championship appearances.
Yeah.
That means the contest is disproportionately determined by about 6 to 8 teams league-wide. So he says, or ChatGPT. ChatGPT says my likely expected point range for the Ravens and the Rams is both 15 to 30. For the Chiefs is 9 to 24. The Packers is 6 to 19. Chargers 6 to 19. Lions 4 to 14. Buccaneers 4 to 14.
I don't even wanna
Yours,
know.
the Bills 10 to 25. The Eagles are 10 to 25. The Bengals are 6 to 19. The 49ers are 4 to 19. The Commanders 4 to 14. Broncos 4 to 14. Texans 4 to 14.
Yeah, I got a lot of two-seaters, huh? Like second in division is what they're saying.
They said getting
tough.
the Chiefs after already owning the Ravens and Chargers was a huge pick for me.
It's tough.
They're a team that if they make the playoffs, they likely get a playoff win. So
Yeah,
winning record,
checks out.
playoff win, that would be 9 points for me if the Chiefs just get in and win a wild card game. So they're like, that's a win for you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Teams that could decide it, favoring you, the Ravens, the Rams, and the Chiefs, favoring Jody, the Bills, the Eagles, and Bengals.
Whoa,
If the Ravens or Rams reach the Super Bowl, TB is probably in command. If the Bills and Eagles both make conference championships while the Rams and Ravens disappoint, Jody could swing it. If you were giving us betting odds today, 60 to 65% me, 35 to 40% Jody.
Damn. They're just saying I'm banking on injuries over here, like or blunders like the
Basically, it
Spurs.
says I got the projected 1 seeds in both conference and the Chiefs as a playoff wild card. That's a big deal. So
yeah. Hey, time will tell. Okay.
we'll find out. We'll mess around and find out, as the saying goes. Just for fun, since I did get the Cardinals in last, they are 400 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, 200 to 1 to win the conference, and 100 to 1 to win the division. They are 20 to 1 to even make the playoffs.
I mean,
Oh,
they got basically a rookie quarterback. If Jacoby decides to just keep waiting, they're
dude,
gonna
the
have.
memes about him holding out in training camp right now are so funny.
I haven't seen any.
Oh, dude, people are like, hey, the Rams just traded for Myles Garrett. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have Jacoby Brissett holding out, 2 different
Yeah.
levels. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a brutal assessment, but yeah. Whew. But all right, so we are in the dead zone of the NFL season in terms of the NFL offseason. We've got some great stuff going on though with the Sorsby and the supplemental draft, ton of fun headlines, and so we're in a good spot here. I think we will be back. Some more things we maybe have planned for the summer. Some divisional previews, maybe some non-traditional divisional previews. We talked a lot about divisions today, so you kind of have some ideas. Maybe some quarterback head coach duo rankings. And probably some other fun and creative stuff from the boys here coming up the rest of this summer. But we may even do like a live pod. Maybe we'll do a pod when Jody gets into town for the wedding.
Yeah.
Just a live
I can
one
take my
here at
stuff
the
if you want me
crib.
to. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll just mess around and do it. You never know. So
That one, unless we use your laptop to record video, it would probably just be audio, and we could see what AI builds for us speaking to each other.
wow,
See what
the
that
AI
visualize.
video based on the audio. Like,
Yeah.
no,
See what
make Jody wearing his backwards hat. He always has a backwards hat.
Yeah,
No,
who
you
knows?
didn't
I
make.
could take my stuff out there. It'll probably just be 2 mics. I don't. This one, the cable's kind of janky, but we'll have something.
We'll figure it out. But until then, we appreciate you all for listening, watching, commenting, subscribing. I don't know. What else am I missing, Jody?
Like, comment, subscribe, share. You make sure everyone else is listening. Get your boys
Yeah,
on
we
it.
got some fun content going on, some different stuff. But yeah, we got our guy. Ray, take us out.